incorporator has defended electoral bonds. SG there telling the court that the bonds in fact brought in transparency in political funding, and now there is no scope of black money. Earlier the donations were made in cash.
So the Supreme Court, which is hearing a batch of pleas challenging the laws permitting funding of political parties through electoral bond scheme, as the electoral bonds that have been pitched as an alternative to cash donations made to political parties is part of efforts to bring transparency to political funding. And the court had also agreed to list the NGO's plea for hearing, but it has not come up yet. But the charges that have now been leveled as far as what's being called as the electoral bonds that may be purchased by a person who is a citizen of India or incorporated or established in India. Let me go across to Harish now. Harish, in what way is the centre defending the electoral bonds?
Yes, in fact, the Supreme Court was hearing a batch of petitions that had challenged the validity of the centre's electoral bond scheme as a source of political funding. Prashant Bhushan-led Association of Democratic, three NGOs had said the bonds had legitimized corruption at a huge scale and maintained complete non-transparency. But Solicitor General appearing for the centre countered that now the system is very transparent. Bonds brought in the transparency and accountability in electoral funding. Earlier donations were made in cash and unaccounted money made its way to the political funding. But now the bonds are KYC compliant, and since bonds are issued only by authorized banks and payments are through check, drafts and direct debit, there is an audit trail. So to say that there is no transparency, it does not hold any water. The centre also said that bonds were a pioneer step initiated to tackle black money and bring transparency and accountability in electoral funding. And now the court will further hear the matter on December 6th, when it will decide if to refer the matter to a constitution bench as requested by Kapil Sibal. Kapil Sibal argued that there are several constitutional issues involved in this, and this matter should go to a larger constitution bench rather than two-judge bench.
So the centre, while defending the electoral bonds, has said that it has brought in more transparency because the bonds are now KYC compliant and there is an audit trail. Thank you, Harish, for getting us the details. With that, a quick break. News and updates will continue.